In this video, we introduce Fever, Faculty Teaching Visualizer tool, to allow users to add delete faculty information with capability of visualizing faculty modules and faculty's position, comparing of faculty workload, and advanced visualizer tab for advanced user. Right now, start off with adding of faculty information. Adding of modules. You can add a test module, for example. Press add to database button, and we can verify against the module information panel on the right. You see that the module has been added, so it's verified. Similar for delete. If you scroll down to the subject that we want to delete, for example test module, and we press delete, and we verify back again, and yes, it's deleted. And goes the same for adding of faculty. So a faculty test, faculty name, position, and we add to database. So right now we should actually see a test faculty, right, it's added. In order to do an update, we'll click on the faculty that we want, the name will appear here, and we change accordingly for position, say professor, and we update. So we can see that this faculty actually update to professor. Right, so for deleting it's the same. We will find for test faculty. Once we find test faculty, we check and we delete. Okay. So now we go on to adding teaching information with example of lecture. Please be reminded that all these you here are checked. So in any case where one few of them are not selected or filled in, there will be from error. Other than weeks, this is an optional field. So we go ahead add and realize that there's error because there are fields that are empty. So we go ahead to find a test faculty, say faculty A, adding a test module A with a year, for example 008, semester 1, 39 hours, and this is left optional, but in this case we just add it as 13 weeks. Add it to the database, and right, there will be for adding, and we see how we can delete it against lecture and faculty A. Right, here it is. So similarly, just check the radio button and we just click delete. So now moving on to a visualizer, we can actually visualize by faculty workload, by module, or by the faculty position, such as professor, associate professor, and etc. So we go ahead with faculty. So we will see that graph controls panel actually is enabled. This is the different axes, that user can choose from, and we will go through one by one next. First one is module ID with workload. The graph that allows us to plot is scatter plot. So once you select scatter plot, you can see that field control actually enables us other options, and it also shows the description of what module ID with workload can visualize using scatter plot. You go ahead to plot the graph, and we can see that from the right axis it shows the number of contact hours taught in order, and the x-axis shows actually each of the module representing one ID as one module for year between 2005 to 2013. We can further zoom down to each faculty staff, say faculty 160, semester 1 with etc. And this is what faculty 160 semester 1 lecture year taught. So these are the few points that shows, and we can even zoom down further by hovering off each point. And it says contact words and taught in 2010 semester 1, and it's a lecture and taught 19 hours. Right, so next we will follow down to module ID against group, where this group shows tutorials and labs only, in order to show a bigger view that we don't want all these previous settings that we have set before, we can just click reset and then continue to plot. Right. So it's the same. Instead of the hours, now it is representing by groups, which belongs to tutorials and labs. You can go ahead with the same thing as previously, faculty 160, probably number 1 semester 2. You want to go ahead with lectures, and then we plot. Right. We realize that this error is because for groups, we only allow for tutorial labs. So there will be no lecture that has any groups. So we can try now with tutorials, and then go ahead and plot. And then I realize that for faculty 160 actually taught these few modules has groups. So right, we have a few. We can even view the query that we want to know what is behind it. So just display query, and you can see this is the MySQL query that's being queried for this graph to appear in this way. Moving on, we go to time and workload. Time and workload has 3 different kinds of graph: the scatter plot graph and stack bar plot and time plot. We will now go with scatter plot, and we will see for faculty 160, this is all the subject that faculty 160 have taught over the years of 2005 to 2013. Similarly, we can also hover to each point, and we can see in details what this point actually represents. And right now there is a legend panel that allows us to zoom in or drill down to each series, so that we can have a clearer view of which series, which year, which semester, and the total number of contact hours. Alright. So in this case, we can also choose the semesters, the lectures, and we can just plot it. And we see that actually in 206 represents semester 1, 206.5 semester 2, 207 semester 1, semester 2, so on and so forth. And now we can select a sub range to see the difference. Say select 007 to 2010. You can see there's a slight drill down on the x-axis. So going on to stack bar plot. Right. See that each bar in the plot represents one subject for the semester, and one color represents one subject. So the taller the bar, which means the more hours dedicated for the particular module. Similarly to scatter plot, we have a legend panel. This legend panel can actually zoom down to various series, for example data structure and OP. And we can see that the console is showing the details of data structure and OOP, and we can do that for the rest as well. And of course we can zoom out together with the series of years that we want, and similar to the one we explained in scatter plots. So we now move on to line plots, and line plots itself basically shows the uptrend and the downtrend of this faculty that taught in total from these years and the number of hours. So we can roughly see the trend of this particular faculty being a year range. Similarly we can also zoom down on semester or the classes. Time against group is no difference, just that what is different now is the groups instead of hours. We also have a legend panel show these are the groups in tutorial labs for the module for faculty 160 between 2007 to 2011. Functions being the same, you can click each to zoom in the details, and if you want to know more for each point, you can hover. You can see the details in the console. Right, next the total time versus total count is a line plot. So this will show the number of modules that this particular faculty 160 has taught over the years 2007 to 2011. Let's put it as 205 so you can see bigger pictures. Okay, right. So we can hover each point to see in details what are the modules he has taught over the years 2006 to 2012. Right. Okay, that will be all for analyzing by faculty. So right now we go ahead with bar modules. We have similar to what faculty has, but we still explain each of the axes next. We'll go ahead with staff ID against the workload, and of course workload here represents the number of hours taught by faculty, and we can see that the y-axis is the number of hours and the x-axis is by the where one ID represents one faculty, right? So it's a span across all faculty. Similarly, we can also choose a module. For example, in this case we choose database system that we plot, and see that these are the few faculty members that taught database system. You can hover over to see the details, and definitely we can see the SQL query that we use for this visualizer, and definitely we can zoom down further to semester, class, year ranges. Next be similar, so instead of hours, next will be by group, and we definitely want to see more for particular subject, like in this case is database system. We can also zoom down on the points, see the details in the console screen. Right, moving on, and we see that right now we want to view in terms of who taught the modules in a clearer way, with drilling down to what faculty members has one color each. So we have a legend. So one color represents one faculty. So when we zoom down, you can see that this is the few semester and years, the number of hours taught by this faculty 422. And we can zoom down further also by hovering over the point. Even for stack budget is clear that way. We can see out the various bars. For example, faculty 295 has taught within this series of years, and 447, so on and so forth. Definitely we can also even zoom into semester, classes, the year ranges, and definitely the MySQL query that we can see. Let's now move on to line plot. So this will actually mean the number of hours for database system taught for the year. For example, in 2005 it says these hours semester 1, semester 2, and this is the up and the down trend for database system over the year of 2005 to 2012. So next we go to time against group, similar concept, just that it's now instead of hours, tutorials and lab groups. So same, we have a legend panel that shows one color series representing one faculty. We can zoom down further, we can have a hover to know the details, and lastly, we have the time and installer account, which is available for only live plots. If we plot the graph, then we can see for database system how many active faculty taught for the semester for the year. For example, in this case, we can see the number of faculty started teaching this module for that year, and semester 2 we see there's actually two faculty that actually stopped teaching or having a semester that doesn't teach database system, and so on and so forth. For the next one, we have resume of faculty that teach back database system. Right. So next we go on to analyze by position. This would mean by teaching of faculty positions such as the assistant professor, associate professor, professor, etc. So we can see trend that for this color is lecturer, so it's on the upper bound of this one. And if you want to know the details, we can hover the points and we can see who are the various lecturers and the number of hours for the particular year and the particular semester. Similar to all previous functions, that zooming down and drilling down to the semester classes year ranges are possible, and definitely MySQL. Flowing down to groups, it's been explained and it's trivial. Instead of hours, now it's groups and labs. And the total count, where instead of hours or groups, it's now the count of modules. So that's all for the visualizing of modules, faculty, and faculty positions. Next, we will talk about comparing of faculty staff workload, where we can compare up to 4 faculty workload. So you can see in this panel here represents one faculty with various drill down features. Let's say we choose a faculty 160 and 163. So we can see that the more colorful of this legend is, or this graph is representing that the faculty has taught more modules, and if we were to notify that there is a common such as in this case microprocessor, we can see that the color appears the same. That's for easy comparison, so that we know that these two faculty actually has a similar or common modules. We'll go ahead with the semester drill down, classes, and the year ranges. Right. So next, we talk about the advanced user panel. So there's a query input for advanced user to input MySQL query if the in-house default visualizer doesn't cater to what they need. So we can go ahead and try a demo for this. Say we select some hours over the years for lectures, and we can reference back to the table on table info. This is the table name, and this is the table attributes. We listed down all tables and table attributes, and we go ahead with lectures, the years, year, lecture, right, group by year, and then we go ahead with executing. Right, it's an error somewhere. Select some year lectures group by year. Try it in, select some hours here from lectures group by year. Alright, so this is the results. So we can see that this is the various years and this is some hours, and we can further visualize it using either a scatter plot or line plot. So in this case, we example with line plot, and we choose the various attribute. This attribute is determined by what EMS user has typed over here. So in this case is year or sub hours. So we can choose that as either X or the Y axis, and we go ahead to plot, and we can see that actually shows between the years that the result has shown, comparing them, and this is the up down. We can even use scatter plot if that helps in any ways the user may find it able to visualize. And yep, they also can have the option to visualize the EID diagram in case there are needs of any complicated queries. Right, so that's all for Fever application video. Thanks for watching.